Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Wellbeing Wednesday. It's the 23rd of August, racing through August towards the new moon next week, super moon. I think June has just told us. Welcome if you're watching the recording or if you're live. It's lovely to have you here. Thank you on behalf of the People's Health Alliance. Today we're talking about getting back to learning. And what does that suggest for you? What's happening in your life? Do you have children? Do you go to college, school yourselves? What's happening? What's happening with your family? How do you cope with a back to learning come September? Shall we find out? First of all, this morning, I'd like to introduce the beautiful Maureen. Good morning, Maureen.
Good morning. It always helps to take the mute button off, doesn't it? Good morning, everybody. And this, for a lot of people, is the time of year where stress and anxiety around learning begins. We have this week the exam results. So there's an awful lot of anxiety and anticipation and sadly disappointment. And then there is the going back into the learning environment. So it's reconnecting, maybe going into different classes, maybe starting a new educational system. Also, lots of people are in their mindset fearful and maybe doing the subjects they want to do, maybe doing the subjects they don't want to do, and have a block and a resistance or find it difficult for learning. So just want to share with you today some tips on how we can manage all of that. I've put together a little PowerPoint presentation. And already there's lots of parents that are contacting me about their children and their teenagers, fearful and anxious about going back to school and college and university. So we want to manage ourselves so that we suffer as little as possible. So let's look at the anxiety and stress. Okay, imagine we're giving you the rules now of how to minimize that anxiety and stress, because if you imagine, it's something we develop, it's something that we learn to do. It might even be something that we copy from somebody else. So I know that my mum was really good at doing worry. She was really good at doing anxiety and stress, and she also smoked a lot, which I never liked. And so because of the smoking, when she got into an anxious state, I always promised myself, I'll never do that. Well, I never did the smoking, but I did do the anxiety and the stress until I came to learn that we can manage ourselves and we can change our patterns. So that is what we want, the choice to feel as good as we possibly can. And when we're going into our learning environment, anxiety and stress for most people holds us back from learning. Anxiety and stress can actually block our access to our memory. So we want to really manage the whole thing in the simplest of ways. Let's have a look. Okay, so just have a think. Do you get stressed? What do you get stressed over? Okay, now I want you to imagine that there is a bird's eye looking down at you and watching you, or maybe a monkey, and watching how we get stressed and the things that we stress over. So what are we getting stressed over? So this week, there's an awful lot of parents, family members, and students stressed about getting their results. Just breathe and minimize it. Some can get to panic and sickness levels. That's when you're doing stress really good. And we want you to do calm really good instead, because that feels so much better and it's much better for your health. So let's learn what stresses us, and let's learn, I don't have to do that, or do I? And if I think I need to do it, how come? There are some times where we've got people around us that are doing stressed, and sometimes being the calm one, being the wise one, doesn't fit in. So there may be times where we have to kind of like, and I don't like to say it, but we have to mold into the environment so that we're accepted and not rejected. But we don't want to feel it. We can be acting it if that is needed. So you might have a group of friends who are really good at doing stress and anxiety, but you're actually pretty cool. But if you're pretty cool on the wrong day, they might be tired, they might criticize you. And we don't want that. We want to be accepted for who we are, and we want to be able to influence others. So calm people influence others as well. So there are times where we have to really manage how we behave, what we show other people. As human beings, we can get really good at doing overload. We cope with so much. We cope, we carry on. And that's great because it helps us to achieve. And I know I can be good at doing this as well. And I was doing a breathwork session on Friday, and hopefully the gentleman that ran it is going to come and do a breathwork session for us. And one of the things that he actually said is, okay, are you living in the moment, or are you attached to the past? Are you thinking and feeling and behaving connected to the past? Well, we kind of are, because my past yesterday gave me a thought, what if this might happen? So today my mind is managing all of that. And so I did a quick snapshot of my last few weeks, my last couple of months, just a nanosecond. So just try this right now. So over the last week, the last month, how much have you actually been doing? Have you been doing an awful lot? Are you actually in that place that might risk overload? And awareness is great. It means we can do something about it. If not, fabulous. That's wonderful. And even if you are on that tipping point of overload, that's fine, because now we can actually do something to actually manage that. Now, in some people's lives, that overload is unstoppable. And we can't just put the load down, because life is whatever it might be. And the choice that we have there, if we can't put the load down, is how we manage it. So we might have to do some extra time for ourselves to be managing that load, so that we can stay strong, safe and sane, and keep ourselves in a good place. So we want to manage that overload. And as I say, everybody's overload is going to be different. So what triggers your bad stress? The good stress is great. That adrenaline fueled buzz that is just wonderful. So if you're going to collect your exam results today, have that instead of anxiety. Good adrenaline, excitement adrenaline is so much nicer than anxiety. It helps us in so many ways, whereas anxiety can actually pull us back. So what triggers your bad stress? Now, it could be a person. It could be a person who cares for you that says the wrong thing. It could be having too many things going on at once. And sometimes when we have a lot going on, we just get to that tipping point where we cope, and then all of a sudden we can't. So it's really useful for you to have a sit and think, what actually triggers me? What triggers my bad stress? Now, part of everyone, I think, in primary school should be taught about coaching and how to be your own coach. What does that mean? It basically helps us to achieve so much. So it helps us to achieve our goals, our dreams, our successes. But in those struggling times, it can help us get the best result in those challenging times. Very simply, what is the goal? What is it I want to achieve? So in terms of our stress and anxiety and our worries and our feeling, because some people at the moment are just feeling, but they don't really know why. Underneath that, there'll be reasons. And we don't have to spend an awful lot of time going into the breakdown of it. We can just think, okay, what is my goal? What is it I want? I'm feeling really anxious right now. Okay, what is it I want? Keep it nice and simple. I want to feel calm and I want to feel happy. Those two words work for me, but you work out the words that work for you. I want to feel calm, confident, in control, happy, joyous, grateful, lucky. You choose the words that work for you, and you might want to write them down so that every now and again you can just go and embrace them. So what is the goal? I want to feel calmer. Then what is the action I need to take to do that? And through the Wellbeing Wednesdays, there are so many, and I think Julie's going to be sharing some later as well, which I'm excited about. There are so many things that we can do. We've got a buffet of tools that Wellbeing Wednesday has shared over the year that we've been. So go and work out your own little coaching plan of what you want to be doing when you want to be doing it. So in the moment, we want awareness. I'm not feeling the way I want to feel. Okay, what do I want to feel? How do I want to be thinking? My mind's all unclear. And often when we do that, we're looking down. I'm all confused. Simply lift your eyes off the floor, because the floor is the pool of emotion. So the more we're looking down in that pool of emotion, the more negative emotion we'll be generating. It also works with the good stuff, but the good stuff looks after itself. So I'm only talking about, let's escape the stuff that is not pleasant. So what is your goal? How am I feeling? What is my goal? And what am I going to do? Now, when it comes to stress and anxiety and worry, we've got this emotional balance disruption. So we want to be in a calm place, which is good for operating our mind, and it's good for our body. And if we have emotional distress, we then want to focus on bringing it back down to calm. Nice and simple. We've got an amazing electricity system within ourselves that we can manage and regulate. Sometimes it goes like that. It's like, oh my God, oh my God. It can just go into abject. And that can be for the smallest of things. That abject panic could be, I can't find the key and I'm sure I put it in my pocket. That in itself could cause, at the right time, a lot of electricity going on. And when all of that is going on, it's difficult to think straight. It's difficult to be resourceful and logical. And again, remember, keep your eyes away from the floor at those times. So I want to, for this week, especially for collecting exam results, and also a lot of people are, and teachers as well, and lecturers are having the anxieties of returning back to the learning environment. This is a very nice, simple, quick method to help us in that moment. Imagine in your mind, it was devised by a wonderful guy, Gordon, who sadly has passed away, but his technique lives on and it's so simple. I was at a funeral last week and I was using it at funeral, and I recommend it for anyone and everyone everywhere. Now, our minds are so sophisticated, and we often hear it's like a computer system, and it's made of files. So you can have a file that has, let's say, all the music. So you might hear a piece of music and it has a link to another file, and that might be the year. So it could be the year I was 12. So you could hear a piece of music linked to the year I was 12 with all the pictures and the videos of what was going on at that time. It might also be linked to another file with all the smells that we've experienced. So we can hear a piece of music, it can trigger a time when I was 12, and the sense. So I don't know why this comes, so I can sense being at my grandma's and smelling the tarts that she made. And so we have this very sophisticated linking system that in a nanosecond can bring lots of information to our mind. Now, the good stuff is great, looks after itself, and it's the stuff we prefer not to have that we want to be able to deal with. What we can do is, in our mind, our computer mind is amazing. It's so huge, it's vast. We can create a brand new file in our mind that has no attachments to any other file. So it's a total standalone, and I like to think of it as a bin, standalone bin that cannot be influenced by anything else. So no matter what I see, no matter what I hear, it cannot be triggered. It cannot be woken up. And what we can do is we can instruct our mind to put whatever the thought or feelings that or the experience that's going on within me, I capture it, I have awareness, I don't want that, and we can transfer it into the bin, and in a nanosecond. So try this, and if anybody wants a worksheet on it, maybe I'll pass it over to Carrie, or you can contact me, whatever, because it's really useful to have this technique. So just relax, and if you're open to it, it's completely safe to do this. We're going to create the first part, which is putting the bin, creating this new file. We're creating new files all the time in our mind. We start off with just when we're born, with the availability of creating these files, and then we do for every year, for every day, we create a file. It's a very sophisticated network we've got going on inside ourselves. So find a spot on the wall and just have your eyes fixed on that spot, and just listen and allow these words if you want to. I create in my mind a brand new file that is completely empty, and it is not connected to any other file and cannot be connected to any other file. It stands alone. And this file I call trash. And when I choose and when I instruct any thoughts or feelings that I don't want, I will instruct them to go into trash, where they will stay safely without having any influence on other files in my mind. So just breathe and just allow that. And just have the understanding of the instruction. Unconscious mind, when I have a thought or feeling I don't want, I'm going to say, stop, send that to trash now. And on the instruction of now, I'm going to move my eyes, and everything associated to what I don't want in that moment will be transferred safely into my trash file. So just breathe and just allow that. Okay, so then what we do, we can, you might have heard of EMDR, eye movement desensitization reprocessing, and that is working with our eyes and working with the data relationship with our eyes. So EMDR is often used in and around trauma, PTSD, as a way of managing and breaking those internal connections. So if you imagine we're like a communication system, we're like a mobile phone system. So we're sitting nice and peacefully, and then all of a sudden, bing, a piece of data has flown into my conscious awareness from somewhere. And with our eyes, looking to the ceiling, we can visualize moving them somewhere else. We can connect with the files in our minds that are connected to sound and so on. And so EMDR, there's a whole processing using our eyes when we have unwanted thoughts and feelings. So all we're going to do with the dynamic thought transfer, the DTT process, is have them go from left to right. So if I show you from left to right, my eyes often, it's as though they've got WD-40, they go all over the place nice and easily. Everybody's eyes work differently, and yours will work in whatever way works for you. So I'm just going to quickly demonstrate, and then I'm just going to talk us through the demonstration. So I might have a feeling of dread that just comes up. So I want the awareness. So I go, stop. I don't want that thought or feeling. Send it to trash. And on the word now, I'll do that. So send it to trash now. Then I take a deep breath. And then I have an awareness of what's going on. So where is that feeling or thought that I didn't want? How is it doing? Where's it at now? And it might have gone, or it might still be there. And if it's still there, that's okay. Just go, stop. Don't want that either. Send it to trash now, and send it to trash. Then review, breathe, and it might have gone. It might still be there in a weakened form. So if it's weakened, you can do it again. Or it might be a different emotion, a different thought or feeling, but is associated in some way, like a cousin feeling. And it might be, oh, and the answer to the question, is it I want it, or is it I don't want it? Do I want it? Don't I want it? And if it's something that is unpleasant, we can do the same with that. Stop. And when we get familiar with it, the mind will create its own shortcut. So you can actually go, stop now. The mind knows that it's going to send it to trash. So you can just have awareness, stop now, and then breathe. And this has been incredibly useful for those really challenging times. So with clients, I've used it for when they're going on stage, and they're really good at doing anxiety going on stage, until we completely, because you don't have to have anxiety going on stage. You can be nice and calm. Going on stage, going to interviews, having serious meetings where it's so powerful. We want to aim to be calm. What is our goal? What is I want? I want to be calm. I want to feel in control. I want to have access to my mind. So think now, just have a think about something small, just to test this, something small that you know that you have as in a situation. It's your internal response. So it could be, the thought of somebody asking me to speak online, the thought of somebody asking me to speak on stage or whatever it might be. So just have an awareness. So just connect with that awareness, and in your mind, just go, stop. I don't want that thought or feeling. Send it to trash now, and have your eyes go from right to left. And then just take a deep breath in, and then just breathe out, and then go and access it. Okay, what is that feeling now? You can't access it if it's in the bin. So access, if it's not in the bin, you'll be able to connect with it at some level. Okay, and you might choose, I don't want that either. So just try this now. Have an awareness of it. Just go, stop, trash now, with your eyes, and breathe. And that's it. It's so, so useful. And when you're out and about, when you're in situations with people, they won't even know that you're doing it. If you're ever in a meeting and you have people close, you can just turn your head to the side. That makes people understand that you're listening. And you could even do that then. Just, oh, they've asked me a really challenging question and I'm freezing, blocking and feeling silly or whatever it might be. And you can just go, stop. And they'll think you're part of the conversation. So it's a really useful technique to use, especially when our overload is going into the peak place, because that's where we can get into danger zone. So I know I've worked with people in the past who have got really good at their own responses at doing this that's not good for them, but they've got really good at doing it, where they've got to a peak and it's actually forced them to faint because there's so much that has gone on in their mind that the mind can't cope anymore, and so it has to just crash out. So we want to avoid, because we're down here where we're in control and we feel comfortable. Even if we make mistakes, we don't have to have that peak. We can just manage the situation. And that's what we want to do, so that we have choice and we have control. And this week, as we know, we've got exam week. So if you're A star, wonderful, congratulations, well done. And please be aware of others around you who may not have got the results that they wanted. So please celebrate, but with consideration, notice how your friends are and others, because it can be really disappointing time. And if you don't get the results that you need, please take great hope that you can retake them. So if you want better grades, you can go and retake them. It just takes a little bit of effort. But if you want the better grades, you can go and do that. But now is a perfect time to just start designing how you want your future to be. Exam results are not the end. Exam results are another step in your journey. So no matter what the exam results are, you decide to be your own coach, that you're going to create your best future, whatever that might be. And just know that this week is just a week in time. Celebrate you being you, whatever grades you get. Celebrate the potential that is in you, because your potential is massive. There are many, many people that have had really disappointing grades over the years, and they've still become incredibly successful and incredibly happy. So whatever happens this week, celebrate you and coach yourself to get your best results. And any thoughts or feelings that you have that come to you, make a choice. Are they good for me? Yes or no? Do I want them? Yes or no? And if the answer is no, send them to trash. With practice, that trash method is so useful. In a nanosecond, you can manage your state, and the success that you can get from that can be really profound. So have a wonderful week, and please make sure that you celebrate you. You are in charge of you. You have got great potential wherever you are, whatever age you are in life. So there you go. That's me today.
Thank you, Maureen. Thank you. What a fantastic tool. I'm just wondering if maybe you would mind, rather than relying on my poor editing skills, whether you'd mind putting that just in a little short video?
Yeah.
We can share for people. Is that okay?
Good idea. Yeah, good idea.
And then we can link them back to this whole recording. I just thought that'd be really helpful. I think that's amazing. Yeah. And like you say, it could be done anywhere.
Yeah, Gordon Gattis created an amazing process that I know has helped thousands of people, but it's still quite a secret. Let's
Not
share.
anymore.
Not anymore.
Thank you so much. And it does, what I was thinking then when you were talking about exam results and being kind to yourself and to others, is in this stage of social media when it's blasted everywhere, isn't it? My child got this and my child got that. It doesn't matter, because you cannot compare one child with another. And their lives are going to be different. They are different. And we should be celebrating the individuality of the children, not the fact that they've been to school and got these actual results, unless it's a stepping stone to something else that they want to do. Obviously, that's justified too.
And often parents that are doing that, and I've worked with many young people where the parents have gone and blasted it on social media, but what they've forgotten to do was to truly celebrate with the individual that's achieved. So because of their own issues, let's say, instead of keeping it contained and making it a beautiful experience, straight away, what are your grades? Brilliant. Now I'm ignoring you. Now I'm going to get lots of attention from the world, who are going to tell me what a great parent I am. And so meanwhile, this poor little person who has worked their little socks off has just been, I just feel as if I'm just, thanks. So yeah, so let's be considerate, and let's celebrate in beautiful ways.
And even if you failed, still a beautiful child.
Yeah, some of the most successful people started with failure. We've got choice.
Definitely. Thank you. Wise words, and as always, and looking beautiful as always too, Maureen. And now we have another beautiful lady, Robyn. Good morning. Welcome. I think Robyn's looking glamorous too this morning.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Okay, good morning, everybody. You can stand if you wish, or you can stay seated, or you can lie down even. Let's just come into ourselves. Come home to yourself, because when attention scattered, which it should be okay at the moment after that exercise with Maureen, that was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But sometimes, obviously, when our attention goes out there, we can't think straight, and it gets too busy in the mind. Good idea as well. Another tool is to draw it back in. So let's just do this. Just imagine that you're drawing your energy back in. So just gathering it, then bringing it down. Let's use the breath as well. So breathe in, just raise your arms up, not too high, like you're just hugging a tree in front of you. You're bringing that energy in and down, allowing it to go down through the body into the earth. And again, breathing in and gathering all that scattered energy, bringing it back home to you, back to center. And any niggly feelings, just release them to the earth to be transformed. Let's do one more. So breathing in, breathing through the nose, and then we'll do a big cleansing breath down into the earth. So that can just start you off. Like I just felt a bit ungrounded then, so I just felt like I need to send them roots down as well into the earth. And then feel your feet on the ground. Something as simple as that. In any situation that you're in, feel your feet. Even just feel your big toes, your little toes, your heels. Feel that connection. Feel the support of the earth beneath you. So sometimes we feel like we're unsupported. Like Maureen said, be your own coach, seek help if you need to, but it's good to build up that support system within yourself. And it's practice, and it's a lifelong practice. So just feeling the support of the earth and knowing that the earth is supporting you all the time. Just make that connection. Connect to the earth. Let the earth connect to you. And just imagine, just underneath the balls of the feet, the bubbling spring. Imagine that lovely energy bubbling through the feet. And just coming up through the body. Building up your yin energy, because we need to build up our yin energy, the earthly calm energy, to build that up so we can allow that yang energy, which is usually when we feel a bit agitated, that yang energy, but we need to build up the yin and then let the yang come in, and so it's balanced. You know the symbol, the yin yang symbol, bringing in balance and harmony. So building that up from the earth, filling your reservoir up, your lower dantian, your lower abdomen, in between the navel and the lumbar region of the spine. Imagine that you're filling yourself up with that lovely, calming yin energy, very cooling, very calming. And that's what we want, isn't it? When we feel like that, cool, calm and collected. So let's build that up. Just imagine that coming up through the body, filling your reservoir, filling your cup with this lovely calming energy. And then, I mean, you can do this for as long as you need to. But if you just want a quick plug in, then it can take as little as 30 seconds. And then you can imagine your cup overflowing and coming up through the rest of the body. So filling yourself up again. Cool, calm, collected, peaceful, balanced, centered. And you can even say them words, because that will reinforce the feeling in the body. Just saying the words cool, calm, collected, peaceful, balanced, resilient, courageous, because we all need courage, especially, I mean, I used to be so, and I still do, get lots of anxiety about new things, learning new things, feeling like you might be judged if you get something wrong. But when I was younger, certainly more so. And like Maureen said, excitement about now bringing in the yang energy now, the excitement. Imagine the yang energy coming down from the sky. Bringing in that excitement of learning new things, meeting new people, opening up your world, expansion. And just harmonizing that energy, the yin, the yang, the cool, the calm, the vibrant, the excitement. So we've got that state of equilibrium, but still, you know, got that lovely feeling of, oh, yes, new beginnings, new adventures. And then let's just take a breath in, breathe in, and just absorbing more of that energy from below, connecting to the energy above. And then breathe out, bringing it down. And if you do feel any form of anxiousness, just allow it to be settling, calming, releasing, letting go. And again, breathing in. And breathing out. Like a beautiful warm comfort blanket coming over the body. Just do one more, breathing in. Breathing out. And then just bringing your arms to the sides of the body. I'm going to do my go-to every day because it just helps to loosen up the body, the spine, gets everything moving. So just starting to turn from the centre. Remember to always listen to your body. So if you've got any health conditions, any injuries, pain, discomfort, then just please respect that and don't try and push it. Don't force anything. So I'll mention Patrick's XTIM protocol again, because that's an excellent protocol to use in any given situation, especially if you want to feel that sense of calm and peace, balance. So just allowing the body to gently wake up. Waking up through the spine with a little twist, strengthening the kidneys with the twisting actions, and just tapping the front and the back of the body gently, stimulating that kidney energy, the lower dantian, creating space, loosening up, coming up through the spine. So it's a bit like a body scan as well as doing the movement. Notice your shoulders. Can they soften a little bit? Your neck. How does your neck feel? And breathe. Just breathe in and out at your pace. If you want to do deep breaths, which can be releasing, calming, transforming, you can do that. Or if you just want to breathe in and out through the nose, that's fine as well. Just do what you feel you want to do right now in this moment. And of course, mindfulness is a great tool as well. Being present with yourself, being present with how you're feeling right now and honouring that. Follow the breath. The breath is a wonderful tool because without it, we won't be here. But it's again transformative, where we can just follow the breath. Nobody knows that you're doing it. I've been in a few situations where I could have really panicked, and I'll just focus on the breath, feel your feet on the ground. Right now in this moment, it's okay. I'm doing the best I can in the situation that I'm in. So having that gentleness, that dialogue, soft dialogue to yourself, like you would to a child or a pet. Soothing, calming. And after a while, this activates the parasympathetic nervous system, as I've mentioned lots of times before. So we can feel that peace, calm and relaxation, as well as waking up the whole body. And then let's just slow it down. Bring it down from 4 to 3 to 2 to 1, and then neutral. Coming back to your centre. Feeling your feet again on the ground, fingers pointing down. Let's rub the hands together. Activate some chi. So another good way to release anxious feelings, little niggly feelings that you can get in your solar plexus, your chest, is a movement called the fountain. So just letting the backs of your hands face each other, dropping the shoulders down, your knees are soft, and we're just going to literally bring the hands up through the centre line of the body, up, 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 and then out. So just like a fountain that comes out, and then bend the knees as you go down if that's comfortable, then back up again, breathing in, and then a big breath, releasing that energy. If it's not comfortable to bring your hands above your head, just bring them halfway. That's absolutely fine. Let's do that again. Breathing in. Imagine that lovely fountain, releasing feelings that are not comfortable, releasing them back down to the earth. And again, breathing in. Breathe out. Just do one more. And you can do as many of these as necessary when you're doing it on your own. And then bring your hands to the sides again, standing in Wuji, an effortless posture, fingers pointing down. And breathe, just follow the breath again. And then bring your hands to your heart. Acknowledge yourselves. Imagine your heart smiling and just have a little smile on your face. Like a baby, when a baby's asleep and got that little half smile on the face, it looks so content and peaceful. Smile at yourself, smile at your heart, and let that smiling energy go through all the other parts of the body. Sending peace, love, light, courage, resilience throughout the body. And then we'll just do one more movement now, just releasing the hands down. We'll draw down the heavens again. It's a good way to end the session. So breathing in, rising up. Let's gather some of that lovely light from above. Breathe out, centering, aligning, balancing, grounding. Back to your heart. Bring your feet together. Acknowledge yourselves. Thank you for turning up today. Thank you for anyone who's watching in the future. And give yourselves a bow, because you deserve it. Well done, everybody. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you, Robyn. Oh, that was amazing. Everybody loves your Qigong. Thank you so much. Oh, anybody else feeling great, invigorated, ready to go? And you always get me doing this. I'll sit here. My hand's ready. Thank you so much. And now I'd like to introduce beautiful June. Good morning, June Tranmer. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. I just popped a thing in the chat that when Maureen was speaking, it reminded me that lovely Adrian posted that thing last night in one of the Signal groups I'm in, and I just wanted to share that with everybody because it's so lovely. So maybe that could be put in the message. I want to post it everywhere because it's so beautiful. So yes, well, I mean, the thing is, when we're in a panic, we don't remember our good habits, do we? When we're in a stressful situation, no matter how many wonderful tools we have in our toolbox, we don't always remember to use them. So my recommendation is to do these things every day, regardless, so that you've got a grounding of stuff that is there holding you together, so that when this unexpected things happen, then you're already kind of on a steady footing. So you're not actually going to be knocked sideways quite as much. So one of the things I recommend, I haven't got it ready. My show and tell, not great today. The flower essences. Have some of the 5 flower essence handy from Healing Herbs. That's where I get mine from. You can buy the stock bottle and then you dilute it into one like this. And he also sells those, or you can get them from other sources. And have it with, just put it in your drink or put it straight into your mouth. The minute you're feeling a little bit wobbly, it's great. It's not a crutch. It's very gentle. It doesn't fight with any other things that you're taking. It just comes in on a kind of a high vibration, and it just kind of soothes any unbalancing feelings and thoughts. And then, of course, we have the wonderful emotional stress release. which, you know, sometimes I have to be reminded by people, just hold your forehead, June, and take a deep breath. Because sometimes we can just feel ourselves lifting off the ground. This is why Robyn's grounding exercises are so important. If we did those every day, and walking out on the earth as well, on the grass, on the sand, on whatever you have handy, even on, you know, like my backyard is just a backyard, but going out there and grounding myself regularly just really does help keep me connected to the earth that's underneath. But holding these two acupuncture points here on your forehead, you can lie down on your back and hold them like that with your elbows out, and then your shoulders are more relaxed. You can lean on the desk. You know, you see people doing this all the time because it's a sign of distress to most people. They think, oh, something's wrong. But actually you're doing something right, because it helps you remember stuff. If something slipped your mind because of stress, or because you're not breathing and there's not enough oxygen getting to your brain, you know, you might need this. It just, what it does is it draws the blood from the back of the brain to the front, and it helps you utilize your thinking brain more rather than your emergency brain, which is at the back, which is getting you ready to run or fight. And in circumstances of modern days, running and fighting are not necessarily the best choices. So you want to be able to think your way out of a situation, or remember something that you've forgotten. If you've gone into a room and you've gone, why did I come here? Just do this. And I guarantee it'll come back to you, because your breathing will slow down. You get the oxygen to your brain, you get the blood to the front of the brain, and it'll start working properly again. But also, if you've got something going round in your head that's bothering you, before you go to sleep, you can lie there and you can release that so that it's not niggling away at you while you're sleeping. Although when we're sleeping, sometimes it's good to solve problems. Our brains do a lot of work while we're sleeping. They clear out the gubbins. They do this spongy squeezing thing where it gets rid of all the toxins that it's built up over the day. And then it can actually process stuff as well. So that's why we need our sleep. And if we don't get enough sleep, it's all right to have naps. Whatever age you are, you can have naps, because they are really good at refreshing everything. The circulation, the chi, the brain, everything. So the other thing I'd like to remind you of, because I know I do go on about this, but it's worth remembering, what Robyn was just doing with the fountain, that is coming up the central meridian. That's very good too. And also, you can run round the other meridians, the main meridians, in bunches, because they come in threes. So there's 3 that go down the inside of the arm, 3 that go up the outside, 3 that go down from the head, 1 at the front and 2 at the back and the sides, and then 3 that come up from the feet up to the chest. So what we're going to do is we're going to stand up again, and we're going to run over those very gently and very carefully. And you can do them on other people. And it has been fed back to us on several occasions that people have used this with their children when they're heading off to school. And I used to do it for my kids when they were going to school, because, you know, they can have little anxieties about what's going to happen at school. And, you know, they're big anxieties to them. You know, I don't want to minimize them. They're worries that, you know, kids have worries. So if we can just smooth out their energy, get them to start doing grounding when they're young, gosh, they're going to have a much better life, aren't they? So if you start from the pubic bone and you run up the central meridian to the chin, and then at the back, at the sacrum, you go up as far. And look how much better my shoulder is now. I can do this. And you can reach over the top and draw it down to just under your nose. So that's that one. And you can do it with either hand. So you can do the front one with your right hand and the back one with your left. And you can do them both together even, because they run together down through the center of the body inside, and they come out through the perineum, and then they split and they go back up. And they're constantly running. From the moment we're conceived, in actual fact, they're part of the whole energy flow that flows around the embryo as it's growing. So, and they're still there throughout our lives, and they're like the reservoir meridians for the rest of them. So it's very important to look after them, because if they get blocked up, nothing's going to function as well as it could. And, you might not notice, but you might feel like your batteries are a bit flat. So this is a great thing to do if your batteries are feeling flat. So the next one is just taking your hands over your face, like you're washing your face in the morning, going down over the torso, and then down the front of the legs and the side of the knees, the outside of the knees, and off the toes. Okay. So then you back down on the feet. I'm not going to bend over again. Well, I am going to bend over again, but I'm not going to move the camera. Just go right down to your feet on the instep and draw the energy up from the inside of your foot all the way up to your chest. Okay. Next, you're going from the chest down the arm to the palm and off the fingers like that. And again, on the other side. Make sure it's the inside of the arm, because now we're going to turn over and we're going to do the outside, and that goes up. So going up and over your ear and to your nose. And that's covering the 3 meridians that all come up from the hand to the face. And then finally, just to catch the ones at the back, you go up over the top, then grab them here at the shoulders and draw down over the buttocks. Can you hear me when I turn around? I forgot to get my microphone sorted out, sorry. Down the back of the legs and off the little toe. When I first started doing this, people said when I turned away from my microphone, they couldn't hear me, but I don't know, it seems to have adjusted itself. So there you go. So that is the Meridian brush, or the Meridian stroke, if you like. And the interesting thing that you can do if you want to, if you've got somebody who's a little bit hyperactive, you can, how we stroke people on their arms like this when they're feeling a bit upset? Well, if you go down there like that, that will take somebody right out of their head and do a bit of grounding for them as well. So you're running in the opposite direction to what you normally would, but just for that one, that you don't want to be running them, generally speaking, on a regular basis in the wrong direction. You want to always go in the right direction. So that's just a little extra thing that you can do occasionally. And I think that's probably our time, isn't it? So I'll stop there. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, June. There's never enough time for you. But
well, I've got a whole hour tomorrow, haven't I?
You have got a whole hour tomorrow with your workshop. I'll put the link in when I'll share this bit later today. That looks really exciting.
We'll go over that and some other things tomorrow.
Definitely. It's going to be really wonderful, actually, and there's quite a few people signed up, so it's going to be great. I was just thinking, when you were doing the Meridian brush, how many things we do instinctively. Like you say, and especially as a parent, you automatically do things and with touch. Is that correct in assuming that?
Yeah, it's right. We know this already. And I feel it's my job to remind people of what they know already. It's not new. It's in there. We instinctively do know it. You're right. And the guys who develop Touch for Health, they say that. It's like we're remembering.
Amazing. So are there any questions just before we leave regarding what's been said today? If not, please feel free to put some more information in, the questions in the chat. Oh, we have one. Please unmute yourself, Anne.
Okay, just a question. So if you're really stressed, does it make you exhausted?
Stress is exhausting. Yes.
You feel like you've no energy and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly right. Because I mean, this is a Western view, not a Chinese medicine view, but the what happens from the Western view is that you've got all these extra hormones coming through from your adrenal glands. You've got your cortisol, you've got your adrenaline, you've got various other ones, and they just they cascade through the system and make everything run a bit faster. And so, of course, if things are running a bit faster inside, they're going to get tired, and that's why we slow things down, because the deep breathing and all the slowing down just slows everything back down to a natural rhythm that you've got inside. Everybody's got their own natural rhythm. Some people are a bit faster naturally than others. But yeah, that would also go from the Chinese medicine point of view. Your meridians run at a steady rate. You know, it takes 2 hours for the wave to go from one end to the other of a meridian. But if you're under stress, that all starts. And in fact, meridians can end up going the wrong way when you're under stress because they get blocked. Yeah. So, you know.
Thank you.
Good question.
Joanne, June, Maureen wondered, and I agree. Would you like to read that message?
Oh, yes, yes. Yes, of course. Yes, have it out loud. It just, he posted it last night and it just felt so nice. He said he just got sent that lovely message. I don't know where it came from. There's no signature on it. So it's just something that's going around. Fall in love with you. Reparent yourself. Create a divine relationship between the masculine and feminine within. Romance your life. Fall in love with it. Then open your heart to welcome a being who will enhance the heaven on earth you've created. This will attract a relationship where two whole beings meet and add to one another's lives. They help one another grow and protect one another's peace. Because not only do they know what it took to create that vibe for themselves, but they deeply honor that their partner created a heaven within themselves too. You deserve this type of love, the one that feels like your own divine sanctuary in this wild world.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful and very well read. I will include that when I share the recording so everyone can read it again.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess I'd like to add that it doesn't have to be with one particular person. We're not all looking to have the perfect partner. I mean, it can be with anybody. That heart connection with anybody that you meet every day. Yeah.
I think Wellbeing Wednesdays, we have some big hearts, don't we?
Yeah, I feel mine's getting bigger by the minute.
sharing the love we are.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this morning, ladies. It's been absolutely wonderful as always. Lots of tips to help people, and look, we can gain lots of little snippets that we can share as well. So thank you. It's been brilliant. And if you've watched the recording, thank you for joining us too. And we look forward to seeing you next Wednesday. Have a wonderful, wonderful Wellbeing Wednesday. And it's goodbye from all of us. Take care.